So, hey,
Hey, we're up and going. Yeah.
let's see what we got. Make sure Facebook's up.
Should have music playing. That NFL thing. Dun, 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 dun. Dun, 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 dun.
I don't think that's how it goes.
It's something like that. Oh, did you play that Stock Jam thing?
Did I play it?
Is that what you're playing?
No. I know how highly you think of Josh. What?
No, so cute. Yeah.
Where's our stuff?
Yeah, so there we go. We're alive.
So that's our title?
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, it's like mad delayed.
It was fine. How do I not get a notification that my thing was not?
No clue.
The Fox is baseball and football, so it doesn't seem. My thing was not.
No clue. What are you doing?
I'm sharing it so people can see it. The Fox is baseball and football, so it doesn't. What are you doing? I'm sharing it so people can see it. The Fox is baseball and football, so it doesn't. That is awful.
I know. Turn your volume down.
Well, if it was on time and not delayed, we wouldn't have a problem anyway. But that's not what's important here. One last thing to make sure that we make ourselves as available as possible so that I can destroy you in this here discussion.
Destroy me. People can hear you now, right? Like
yeah.
live.
I know.
Oh, okay.
Everything I say, I mean. I'm not like some of these other people. It doesn't show up on. I don't know how to get YouTube.
YouTube.
I go to our channel.
Hi guys.
Oh no, there it is. Yeah, that's cool.
We're live streaming.
This is fun. I mean, you can talk about other stuff if you would like while I get everything.
But there was mad traffic today. I waited half an hour to see the doctor at the doctor's office. And then I go to run to, Walmart, to get stuff for the house. And it didn't actually take me that long in Walmart, but I got in line to check out. All the lines were long, of course.
Of course.
Get in line to check out. And there's a kid in front of me. Like, I can hear the change jangling in his pocket. Mm-hmm. But I'm thinking, it'll be cool. He's probably with his mom. His mom's going to pay. The lady in front of him, she dips. And so it's just him. And then next thing I know, he's pulling out all the change in his pocket to pay for his stuff. And I'm just like, there's got to be a better way. But the cashier was just like, he's got to take the money. So he takes it and he's counting it. I'm like, this is taking forever. It took him like an extra 10 minutes to count out all of the change.
The worst.
It was really bad. Look, Reggie. Hey, Reggie.
Reggie's
he
here.
Says he likes your hat, bro.
Of course you do. I don't know how to DC all day. I don't know how you guys view us backwards. Y'all know what it is. 202-540-703-301. Is there any more?
I'm sure there are. I saw that some of them, they just added a new one, actually. got the text from T-Mobile or whoever.
There's another.
A new zip code.
That's not zip code.
New area code. Yeah.
Because Luda got them.
In all the codes.
Yeah.
You're so old.
He's coming here. He's about to perform.
I know. We're not going to be able to go.
I mean, I'm not that super interested, but.
Oh.
Yes. Would you? Of all the shows that are happening right now, he's like way down the list.
Oh, no. I'm just saying, like, in general, like, I would go and see him. I like Luda. I don't think I've ever seen him live either.
I mean, I liked Luda. I don't know that Fast and Furious Luda isn't really my thing, but
yeah, but he's not doing music from Fast and Furious. He's doing ludicrous music.
I'm saying once he got in Fast and Furious, the music kind of
stopped.
I mean, he is always good for good lines.
But I also like the way you're wearing the hat as well, gangsta.
Yeah, he knows what it is. Shout out my man Reggie. His wife just celebrated a birthday.
Happy birthday!
Happy birthday, Danielle. If you're watching. So yeah, we can go ahead and get into it. A fun episode. As you can see, some people dress for the occasion. Other people do not always dress for the occasion. But when you stay ready, you don't have to get ready. But the caveat to that is my lovely host here is wearing a shirt that's available for purchase.
Yes, it is.
By a Black-owned business. So if you truly support Black-owned businesses, you too can get a shirt. Simply leave us a comment and we will let you know where you can get it to support Black-owned small businesses. We hit all the buckets.
All the buckets.
All the buckets. I need to start streaming our Cash App so people can run it up, all these kids.
Yeah, it's a lot of them.
For those of you who are a little late, I'll give you a quick update before we jump right in. Doctor's appointments today. Kid's still alive. Kid's doing great. Mom's doing great. Dad on the mend. Been fighting off all the adversity of life, but we're still here. COVID free, free of mind, and free of drama. So
yeah, life's good.
Yes, indeed. So
I can't find the notes.
No, what are you doing? It's right here.
Where?
Right here.
Oh, okay. Great. There it is.
Sometimes look at you, babe. It just takes a man. So, ladies, if you don't have one, listen to Kevin Samuels and get you one.
Don't listen to Kevin Samuels.
Or listen to Kevin Samuels. Take the meat, spit out the bones. But if you can't handle, what is it? Some people are just on milk and not on meat. Yeah, if y'all just on milk and y'all can't handle the meat, then you'll be single and miserable. And nobody really wants to be that. Same for you, men. Do better. Be better dads. Be better husbands and spouses. Put that woman first, like Jaheim said.
Whew. Maybe we shouldn't go live again anymore.
What?
Okay, so
let's get into it. Go ahead.
We're talking about sports tonight and how sports ruin relationships.
Or make them super strong and super firm. And like children, some people might stay together because of sports.
No one has ever stayed together because of sports.
How do you know?
Like, there's no one in history of marital relationship is just, I'm super unhappy. I hate my husband, but he loves the same sports team I love, so we're not going to get divorced.
Or I'm on the verge of getting divorced, and then you go to a sporting event and it rekindles the old flame, or a high school football game or something like that that takes you back, and you begin to realize, hey, life isn't as bad as I thought it was. Or you read about the relationships of people that are dating sports and entertainers and realize their lives are miserable. So you better stick with the guy you got because he's actually not that bad. Sports, saving relationships.
Sure. That's what
Drake just rapped about Ayesha Curry.
And
ladies, be more like Ayesha.
Nobody wants to be with Drake.
That's
probably not true. Like, I'm sure
potentially millions of women that would like to be with Drake.
Yeah, they want to be with like physical, like what he looks like, Drake. Like not crybaby, I love myself, I'd hate myself, like emotional Drake.
And they would like to get a kid.
I mean, that's
by Drake.
50
said, if you have a baby by me, you'll be a
millionaire. Yes, he did say that.
Does he have kids?
Yeah, he's got 2.
Does he? I feel like I never see them.
The older one like hates him, and then he's got one, I think maybe Courtney's age, maybe younger.
Interesting.
Yeah, but that's off topic.
Yeah.
That's
back
off
to
topic.
Sports and relationships. So, Who is your football team?
So my favorite football team, if I have to pick one, is going to be the Indianapolis Colts.
Who lost yesterday?
We'll get to your team.
Yes, we will.
You're not even representing.
Well, I'll get to that, and there's a great explanation.
Sure. If I have to pick, like I really only reason I watch football now is because of you. Like I really fell off after the whole Colin Kaepernick thing. I wasn't happy about that. I wasn't happy about how they responded to it after the fact. All the symbolism and everything that they do now. It's just kind of empty to me when you still are basically quieting the voices of the players. But I feel that way about sports like across the board. I still really like basketball, so I watch basketball, but football it irks me. They irk me. So I don't
like the runners of football, like the commissioners.
No, yeah, like the owners, the
Okay,
commissioners, like the people in charge.
Yeah.
They irk me. So it's not like on my top list of things to watch. But if I'm going to support a team, I support the Colts.
Cool. Well,
You still love Tony Dungy.
You said you loved him?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So that's cool. I actually don't hate the Colts. For people that may or may not know me, my dad was from Indianapolis, and so naturally, Indiana has a portion of my heart. The Pacers. And I think there's only two teams they got, the Colts and the Pacers, right? They don't have a baseball team and they don't have a hockey team.
I have no idea about those sports.
So I'm slightly partial. I actually grew up a Reggie Miller fan more than a Michael Jordan fan. Shocker to most people. But my team is the one, the only team without a name.
Boo!
So the Washington football team, who have hired a number of women and minorities to run the team in light of their racist past and racist history, to try and make things right, have done the right things.
And they lost yesterday.
They did lose to a good team, as did the Colts. However, the future is promising. And so I am not all the way out because the Giants lost, the Cowboys lost, and we lost. So technically, we're tied for second.
So your division is trash again this year, it looks like.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, it is.
So you're aiming to be the best of the worst.
Yes.
Okay.
That is correct. So as long as we're the best of the worst, we get to go to the playoffs. And on any given Sunday,
you never know what's going to happen. Yeah.
So, I did have the opportunity to go out and watch the games yesterday. I don't know what you all did. It was a good team. We got some Tennessee Titans here in the comments. They lost. They suck because they got absolutely blown off the field by, I think it was Arizona. So Tennessee, you cost me some dollars so that I couldn't support my family, but it's okay because my God is more than enough. But yeah, so yesterday was a good time. It was the first Sunday of football in months that actually counted, not that trash preseason where nobody important really plays. There were a number of highlights, a number of really entertaining games. It was really my first experience. I went out with the gentleman from church after I got permission from my lovely wife.
After you got permission?
Yeah, I came. We told the story, but we'll talk about that later. But yeah, I was at church. Someone approached me.
Oh, okay. I get what you're saying.
I jumped. I checked with my rib because everybody likes ribs. And so you don't want to make your rib angry or your helpmate will not help you. And so in my checking to make sure that everything was okay, I got the thumbs up.
You got the thumbs up.
So a gentleman from of mine, we figured out, we met up at Buffalo Wild Wings. And I know you said that you've gone and used to watch sports on like out. I never do that. I've gone a couple houses, but typically.
And that's kind of weird considering how much you like sports, especially when I think about like college you and after college you, like just the group of people that you used to hang out with a lot. Like I would assume y'all would go out to watch sports.
No. So I go to games.
Yeah.
But going out to watch doesn't seem as comfortable or as fiscally responsible.
No, yeah.
As watching from the comfort of my home with surround sound and my own TV that I can watch what I want to watch, and I don't have to, because that's the one thing that kind of was great, but it sucked. So I'm out, and I sat here. I could have sat either on this side or this side, and this side had the whole Buffalo Wild Wings, tons of TV.
Yeah.
But you know what game was right here? Washington's game. So I had to sit like this with my leg up so that I could kind of watch the other stuff that I kind of cared about for fantasy and gambling purposes, but I really cared about this game. So I could either sit with here and then have great access to the football game and miss everything else, or sit here and struggle to see this. You know when I don't have that problem? When you're sitting on my couch and I can flip to the Washington game or NFL Red Zone.
See, and that's the thing. Like, I really enjoy, like, even now, like, I'm not super into football, but like going out to watch football, I like that way more. One, it's just the atmosphere. You're around a bunch of people. There's conversation going. It's just a lot. I like the energy of all of that. Now, being fiscally responsible, that's not really a thing that would ever happen. Like when I lived in DC, I lived like a few blocks away from Benning Road Metro Station.
Yeah.
And so I would get on the train and there was this bar right at Potomac Avenue, I think it was. We went there. We went to Trustees. That one time.
We played Connect Four?
Yeah. I would go there because it was like 2 stops from my house. So I would go there sometimes. And like sometimes I would go by myself. But I knew a bunch of people that lived in the neighborhood. So I would go on Sunday, have breakfast, meet up with people, and end up being there all day. Yeah. But the course of being there all day, like that bar tab at the end of the night would be a little disrespectful. And then when I would go out with my fantasy football team, we'd actually typically just split the bill. So it wasn't as bad, but yeah, it was still not very fiscally responsible when I think about it. But it was always good times. Like I really enjoyed it.
So you did just mention something that I don't want to gloss over, because in relationships, it is important that you celebrate one another. Yeah. That you cherish one another. That you don't take for granted the small and the big wins.
Yeah.
So for those of you who just heard my lovely host story, she mentioned that she took the train for 2 stops. Now, for some of us, that seems absurd, like myself. For others, that might be a way of life. Understandable. I would like to say that as of this past Friday, my lovely host here is a legally eligible driver. It's the easiest driving test I think I've ever witnessed take place. They literally got in a car. They were asking to do all this boring stuff like push the flashes and roll down the windows and wave the windshield wipers. Very little of that will ever help you when you're on the road. They did not even get on the highway.
We did not get on the highway.
Which my wife is still not driven on the highway, and keep praying for her because at some point I think we're actually going to have to get on the highway. Nonetheless, she aced her test.
Yay!
We are waiting patiently for her driver's license.
Official driver's license.
And yeah. So I did want to say I'm proud of you.
Oh, would you look at that?
Congratulations. It's not the party that you apparently wanted, but it's a live stream party on our podcast. So we've done some great announcements, and here's another one. So congratulations.
Oh, thanks, babe. That was very nice of you.
Yeah.
Oh, what did we have? Yeah. Well, I would take I wasn't driving, so it didn't matter. But it was just safe to take the train after or before a day of, bar activities.
So I have a question about that, because we're going to get, this leads into the next topic. So were you dating anyone at this time?
Off and on, like during, was I? No, it was just single me. Like I would go on dates or whatever, but I don't think I was in a serious relationship during that time.
The gentleman with you to watch the sports?
No, I don't think so. Or if there was someone I was talking to or whatever, and I was like, okay, I'll invite you. But I don't like to take people to my places, because if we stop dating or stop talking, I don't want you just showing up at my place like it's your place, because it's my place. You gotta go.
I feel like that should be mutually understood. If I put you on to something, you don't get to use it when we're not together. No?
Nah, people be stealing places. Oh. And I don't like that. So, and Trustees is like my place. So.
And to survive the pandemic and everything?
To my knowledge, yeah, I think so. Good. I would definitely go back because they have bomb food.
Yeah, I think I had wings that night. It was pretty solid. I was actually pleasantly surprised at the service. It was a young lady. Don't know her name. I don't think she told us, but not important. But yeah, food came out actually relatively fast. Restaurant was packed. Food was hot. I enjoyed it. Even got some to go. The gentleman and I split the wings, so that was an exciting time. I picked up the tab as a good friend should. He's got next. But yeah, it was an exciting time. But I will say, and like I said, we've had this conversation previously. I am a huge proponent of watching sports with your significant other. That can be children, that can be wife, that could be girlfriend, boyfriend, I don't know what, husband, whatever. I don't know whoever I left out there. And you seem to have a bit of a differing opinion. So can you please elaborate to the people as to why you don't see the value in watching sports with your significant other?
Nobody said that I don't see the value in watching sports with your significant other.
So you see the value, you just don't want
Don't put words in my mouth.
I'm just asking.
Because you're definitely putting words in my mouth. All my thing is if you want me to watch sports with you, I'll watch sports with you. But you have all these little caveats and rules and all these things that I have to go with when I'm watching sports. And again, nah, bro, it's a bunch. And again, it's like, I'm not super into football. So if the game is boring, there's not a team that I'm even interested in playing, and the game is boring, it's not going to really hold my attention. So I'll sit there with you, but I'm more likely to want to talk and have conversation than to sit and stare at my phone the whole time or watch the boring game. And so for me, it's like, if you're not going to watch a game that's really good, then there's really no point in me being there, because like you're going to be like glued to the TV, barely paying attention to me, not really wanting me to talk. And then when we're at home, obviously, you're switching, like during commercial breaks, you're switching the channels between the different games that are being played. So it's like, when am I supposed to talk? I've got all these little designated time periods and when I'm allowed to talk. And it's like, I could just go upstairs and watch something else and let you enjoy your game. And then we can come together later during like the late game, and you've gotten to enjoy a whole day of football. Like, I see the value in watching sports together. But if both parties aren't equally interested in watching said sport, you just get bored. Somebody's going to be bored.
All right. So let me explain why that's garbage.
Garbage.
For one, we have this lovely piece of technology called NFL Red Zone. For those of you who don't know what NFL Red Zone is, I'm only speaking about football at this present moment. NFL Red Zone, basically, without getting too nerdy, the red zone is when you get 20 yards away from the end zone. So when, let's throw a random 7 games are on at one time, there's a high likelihood that someone is in the red zone. If you're in the red zone, they go to that game, which means the drama typically is pretty high because someone is about to score. If someone by chance isn't in the red zone, they're usually close, which is why that channel shows that game. You know what else that channel does? They cut every time someone else scores. So anytime there's a scoring play, which is exciting, they cut to that game. So basically what you are is you're on a roller coaster of football fun where it's constantly game, excitement. It's like a roller coaster. Like I said, you go up. Yeah, going up can be boring. But you know what happens after you go up? You come down. And as you're coming down, you know what you do again? You go up a little bit. Not as super exciting as the first drop, but you go back down again. You know what else you do? You do some twirly whirls. You do some flips. And so that's what it's like watching football with NFL Red Zone. Secondly, she only really watches, and this is the case for a lot of women that I've known, 1 or 2 sports.
You watch literally every sport. If you had it your way, every sport would be on every day, all day. Like, I don't watch hockey. I don't watch baseball. I watch a little bit of soccer, and that's just because like you'll watch wrestling, you'll watch tennis, you'll watch freaking cricket. Like, you will literally watch every sport available. And I am not gonna sit down and spend my whole day watching ESPN or whatever. Like, there's so many other things that are interesting to me to watch. And so I feel like letting you have that you time to watch your sports and decompress and enjoy your sports without me asking 10,000 questions every 5 seconds or me wanting to show you something that I just found on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. And like right now, I'm planning the baby shower. Do you know how many things I wanted to show you yesterday while I was online looking? But I was like, nah, he's out. He's spending time with he's fellowshipping with the guy from church. Like, let him do his thing, have his manly time, and we can talk about it later on when he gets home from, the game. And then even still, you got home. I was just like, let him chill. Went back upstairs and was watching my cartoon. Like, and then I did come downstairs eventually. I watched the end of some game. Then you turned on a boxing match and I watched that. And then what happened? More football came on. And we literally fell asleep to watching football. Oh, no, we didn't. You turned off that game. Yes, you did. You turned off that game and let me watch cartoons. I spared
you and let you watch cartoons, which ultimately put me to sleep. Or it could be this amazing new bed that we've got.
Our new bed is the bomb.
But it's like a whole new world.
It is. It's whole. Hi, Pam. How are you? We see you in there.
Cousin Pam. We appreciate you. Wonderful woman. For those of you who may or may not know, does a lot of great things. Supports Black businesses, as you should. So she's great. But back to the points that my lovely co-host, Mrs. Bond Chronicle, is making. So yes, she did not send me those things while I was out. However, you can always send a text to someone and they can check it later. So that's no reason why you could not have reached out. But you know what? Give them the benefit of the doubt, We got upstairs to finally watch a game. Can I tell you the lack of enthusiasm that my counterpart was showing while we were watching said game? Little to no interaction. And as she mentioned many times, the reason she doesn't want to watch the sports, even though I've told you the roller coaster of emotion and excitement that there is that she feels that she would rather distract me with something on her phone. You know what that says? You're not paying attention. You know what else it does when you keep asking me questions that are completely unrelated to the game that's on? You're not watching. You're not paying attention. I would also like to say we've done many a review on different shows on this podcast. You know what that means? Sports ain't on all day because we watch mad shows. Typically, we start shows together, and guess who stops watching? This one, Godfather of Harlem, Raising Kanan.
I never told you I was going to watch Raising Kanan.
Listen. I'm simply
saying. And I missed 2 episodes of Godfather of Harlem.
So you missed them, okay? There's been a myriad of other shows. I think you might have finished Mayor of Easttown. I don't think we finished that together.
We did finish that together, but you didn't start that with me. You started that by yourself.
Okay, that's possible because I knew she would eventually fall off the wagon.
No. You did that by yourself.
Nonetheless,
or needless,
or needless to say, whatever. That's been how this goes. So what I'm telling you as a man, ladies, men do want you around. But to my wife's point, which she kind of politely threw under the rug as a shot, there are stipulations that we would prefer in the event that you are around. That being, please stop distracting us. Sometimes many men believe in jinxing. I can't tell you how many times the announcer jinx has hit said player, and it breaks my heart. They might say they've hit 50 free throws in a row, and as soon as they say it, guess what they do? Miss the free throw. Haven't thrown an interception in 20 games, 20 quarters. Guess what they do the next drive? Throw an interception. This kicker's amazing. He never misses. This is automatic. Guess what happens? misses the kick. So there are weird things that happen in sports. So as a woman, if you're going to be around, all we ask is don't be the thing that makes our team lose or causes our bet to fall downward.
That is such poppycock. Like, I don't even understand. Like, that's just not what happens. That's not real.
What do you mean?
Pam,
What's not real?
Because it's not. That's not realistic. Pam says 1 brother and 3 sons equal sports. Pam, that's literally about to be my life in a few years. He literally watches, sports all the time.
That's not true.
You do.
I watch Blacklist.
Totally watch sports all the time.
I watch Mad.
And
I watch the podcast.
You record that stuff or something that you can turn on at your convenience.
Yes.
Otherwise, it's like ESPN and
what do I watch
FS.
ESPN?
Like everything.
I watch Skip and Shannon, yes.
Nah, bro.
And
You watch that Uninterrupted show. You watch, literally, you watch lots
LeBron
of sports.
show? That's the shot. What Uninterrupted?
Isn't that with
Undisputed? Skip and Shannon. That's it.
Okay, that's it. Yeah, but what I'm saying is, you'll turn on like that gambling show where they talk about the odds of stuff.
And why is that? Because
you like to bet.
I'm trying to provide a better future for you and the kids.
Either way, like, I get it. Like, you're a sports person. I'm with it. Like, I've known that about you your whole life. It's been like that since we've been together. And now I have 2 boys. Well, soon to be 3 boys.
Uh-huh.
So it's going to be 4 y'all in the house wanting to watch sports all the time. Or
you don't know
is that I know you. I know you. And I know how you're going to want to raise our kids.
If you want to get anything for our kids, Washington football team stuff.
Absolutely not. Absolutely
desired.
not. Don't do it.
And then when they get a real name, send that too.
Don't do it. Because they won't wear it. I'm not putting my kids in that awful football team.
We're gonna take family pics. We're gonna take family pics. You want to take family pics? We're gonna take family sports pics because she loves family pictures.
I do love family pictures. We're not taking family pictures in no god awful Washington football team anything.
Okay, but when they get a real name.
Well, even when they get a real name,
why wouldn't you do that? It's
not happening. It's absolutely positively not happening. It has
been tested, tried, and true that a house divided will fall.
Yeah, and our house is only divided on like one thing.
That's not true.
Sports-wise, that's just absolutely ridiculous. I'm surrounded by it all the time. So me giving you the space to enjoy your sports, to enjoy all that stuff, like, I don't think there's anything wrong with it, especially when, if I am sitting there trying to watch the game, fortunately for you, I understand it a lot better now than what I did maybe 10 years ago. So, like, I know what's going on. If I look at a plan, it's like, oh, this is going to be very good. I'm not going to say it out loud, but if it doesn't turn out well, so then what?
It didn't happen. It just didn't go well.
But you're talking about me jinxing and all this crap.
It happens. Announcers do it. Women do it. Pets can do it.
But men don't do it.
I've done it. I've done it many times. That's why a lot of times when the game is on, I typically don't talk trash. I just keep my mouth shut. Unless I know the game's over. Once the game's over, I'm talking mad trash. But up until that point, leading up to the game, eventually, Washington's going to play Dallas and Philly. I ain't going to say a lot. I just stay low. That's
because both of y'all, all 3 of those teams suck so bad. Who can really talk a lot of trash?
Okay.
I mean, you can talk trash to each other when the game is on.
I like the Warriors. I like other teams.
No, that's not true. Like I can, like I said, I can go back on Facebook and look at all the times that you were talking trash about the Celtics when they play the Lakers. Like, and it's like trolling to the 10th power.
Yeah, you know how long ago that was? I had to learn some harsh lessons.
Because even now, like, we could be watching a game or you'll see a notification pop up on your phone and something will be happening and you'll rub it in somebody's face. I've seen it happen.
Yeah, but that's not when they're playing my team. That's just when they're losing.
Yeah.
So, like, when Dallas lost to Tampa, I had some trolling that I needed to do. Needed to.
It
was necessary. You got to let them have it.
But Dallas fans are the worst, so I can understand
super
that.
Obnoxious. LeBron fans, also super obnoxious.
I don't disagree.
So when it's those people, sometimes you work really hard to press down those things in life.
You don't work really hard.
I do work mad hard.
Bruh, no, you don't. Right, you live to troll people. You really do.
Yes,
like you love it.
Even in that, I don't do it as much as I want.
Okay. I don't. We'll agree to disagree. But I have seen you on I've seen you on many occasions. And you're doing fantasy football. I don't know who you're doing fantasy football with this season.
I don't even know them. I just joined some leagues at the last minute. I was literally drafting 2 teams at once because I wasn't going to do it, and then I decided I didn't want to do it. So I'm going to go 1-2, maybe 0-3 this week. I just played the wrong people. I played against not Patrick Mahomes. What's Arizona quarterback's name? Kyler Murray.
Oh.
Kyler Murray had an amazing game. Of course, most people had him and DeAndre Hopkins. Also had an amazing game. Deebo Samuel had an amazing game. So I just had really bad matchups. The one league I should win, it has 4 quarterbacks. It was the weirdest draft I've ever done. I had Mahomes, Brady, Lamar Jackson tonight, and Baker Mayfield. So I should win. But
yeah, you should be good.
Yeah.
Reggie says y'all could take family picture in Tennessee Titans. Reggie, that's not going to happen either.
The Titans are losers. We don't take pictures in losers' clothes. Did you watch that Super Bowl where they lost by an inch to the Rams? I don't think the Titans have ever won a Super Bowl, so we won't watch them. At least.
Is this you holding back? Is this you suppressing and holding it down?
No.
Because that's not what's going on now at all.
Since they're not playing us next week, I can talk a lot of trash. And since my team has won 3 Super Bowls, whether I was alive or remember them or not is not important. The Colts have also won the Super Bowl, so we can talk trash because the Titans suck.
Okay.
Reggie, we love you.
We'll go with that. We'll go with that. I don't know. I just don't feel like I should have. If you really, really want me to watch a game with you, of course I will sit down and I'll watch a game with you. I'll enjoy it. I'll make good food. We can have people over.
Also appreciate
always, I'm down for the cause.
Yeah.
But if you want some space, I'm also very happy and open to that too.
So here I promote a compromise. Because I am a businessman.
Oh.
And I do what's in the best interest of the bottom line most times.
Okay.
So the bottom line here is the marriage. And I ultimately want the marriage to be successful.
Okay.
So although I would like for you to follow the rules of engagement when it comes to watching sports with me.
Okay.
Okay, fine. You want to go watch anime and people do weird stuff and turn into weird animals with long noses. That's perfectly fine. I can live with that. What I would like to say is in lieu of that, I feel like the woman should conform the same way she leaves her mother and father to cleave to her husband, which is biblical. The same way a woman does that biblically, that woman needs to leave her sports teams and cleave to the sports teams of her husband.
Absolutely
if
not.
She was raised wrong to be a opponent of her husband's sports teams, she needs to rebuke those teams and come alongside her husband and be his helpmate, his rib, his side piece. That's not really. You know what I'm saying. No. She needs to do that.
Bruh.
Because he has so diligently given his life and service to her, the least she can do is come over and support his sports teams.
Absolutely not. And all that leave to cleave, that's not in relation to liking each other's sports teams. You keep trying to say that it's biblically right for me to leave the Colts to go support them. And I'm that doesn't even make sense.
Or leave the Celtics.
To support who?
Whoever I support.
No, why?
Because we're one.
No, why?
When 2, see this? No. This is 1 and this is 1. When 2
exactly, Pam, exactly. How is he gonna bring God and marriage vows into team loyalty? Come on, man. That's a whole segment on the show.
Because we're 1 and 1. When 2 become 1, the man is the head. He is the protector. He is the covering. And under that covering should be support. You know, you've seen those dumb pictures all your life where behind every strong man is a woman that's holding them up. You know, you've seen those dumb pictures, and that's the same thing. If you're going to support those dumb pictures, and I hope y'all don't have these in your house, don't take it personally. But if you do, the same is true when it comes to sports teams. You should support
It is not
that
the same
team.
as sports teams. Because why? Does it make it that much better if I also support your sports team?
Yes.
Why?
It might cause them to win a Super Bowl.
No, it won't.
You don't know.
It won't.
You haven't tried it.
It won't. I have. Like, when I was with Kurt back in the day, like, he's a Chelsea fan. I had a jersey. I would get up at, like, god-awful times in the morning to watch them play, you know, in the Premier League. Like, me getting up to watch them play did not help them win. They were a good team. They would win on their own. Like, it's got nothing to do.
That's not true. Why do fans go to the game?
Because that's what fans do.
It's called support. A great testament to this is, have you ever, for those of you who haven't watched, there's this great show called Dragon Ball Z. And in the show of Dragon Ball Z, there's a time where Goku, who is the main character, always wants the best of his opponent.
Bruh, Chi-Chi did not support 90%
listen,
of anything that Goku was doing. No. Because you're trying to use Dragon Ball Z as a point. But then Goku and Chi-Chi were married. How frequently did Chi-Chi ever really support Goku fighting?
It's not the point.
And then
the point
when they had sons, what did Chi-Chi want? Chi-Chi didn't want them anywhere near the fighting.
Because they were going to die.
They never died, though.
Goku died mad time.
Goku died mad time.
And so she didn't want her kids to die.
Right. She wanted her kids to be intellectual and smart and get good jobs.
And what did that get Gohan? That got him mollywopped every time somebody came. He became a loser and couldn't even defend his family.
That's not true.
And someone was shooting him with a finger. Like, that's what happens when you don't follow your husband.
And then what happens?
You raise kids that are punks.
No.
And then they get absolutely destroyed. And then your husband has to sacrifice his life just to save the sucker son who didn't keep training.
That's the
moral of the story.
That is not the moral of the story. The moral of the story is there can be dualities in relationship. Mm-hmm. And I think with me supporting or people supporting different teams in relationship, it gives you extra spice on game days, especially on game days when you guys are playing against each other. Mm-hmm. That you are trash talker extraordinaire. On game day, I am trash talker extraordinaire. Like, that is a lot of fun. You get to go back and forth and all of that throughout the day, and then get to watch the game, and it's all this, that, and the third going on, woo-wah, woo-wah. And then at the end, regardless of what team wins, guess what? We're still married. I still love you, regardless of whether my team won or lost. And then we get to make bets about whose team wins, and if my team wins, then this, and if your team wins, then that. Like that, I think that's like spices up things. You don't want someone who's just gonna follow around you like a little lap dog, or do you? Because if you do, you married the wrong person.
So there's what is reality and what you wish reality was. I think most men would rather have women that were more supportive and less talk trash. You know, the people I see that post those things about the man wants a woman to talk back and all this other stuff. You know who post those? Women. Men don't post that crap because we don't want that mess. We want a woman that is riding with us, that'll get her face painted with us, that will go into the trenches of enemy territory with us and support us. You know what I mean? It's been quite a few times I've seen men and women get knocked out because rivalries are happening and people are angry and they're drunk. And I hope that's not happening in any of your homes, but you set yourself up for that if you potentially go against your spouse when it comes to sports, because some people literally live and breathe this stuff, which is why they make billions of dollars off of it. But that's fine. You don't want to do that. That's fine. Pam, we love you. Thank you so much for your time. Keep doing what you're doing. We support you. Unlike women supporting their husbands when it comes to sports. So now that we've addressed that, we are people that like to go out, and I hope you guys are too. We like to travel the world. So what would you say are some of your favorite sporting experiences, given that you've been to a bunch of different sports?
I like basketball games the most out of like everything. Let's be honest. One, most places I go, I'm going because I want to eat, because I like to eat.
Sporting events?
Yeah, stadium food be bomb. And I think that's the only reason why I go to baseball games. Because like I don't like baseball at all. But the food at baseball stadiums, A1. But I just like the vibe at basketball games the most. They're always the most entertaining. They always have the best music.
Thank you, Derek. You're a great man of God. We fully support you and your spouse.
Oh man, this is ridiculous. No, I like basketball games the most out of all of them. I've been to a couple of football games, and I think that was back when I wasn't super into football, so I didn't really care as much. I wasn't very invested. But because I watch so much basketball, and I have a favorite team, but like I'll root for other teams. Like I've been to a few, and I've always enjoyed my time at basketball games, especially one because they're inside. So it doesn't matter what it's like outside. You can be comfortable and just have a good time. So I like basketball games the most.
Cool. I have been to a bunch of different events. I will say one of the most exciting that I actually went to, and it happened to be a preseason game, and I really want to go see a regular season game, was a Capital game. I went to a hockey game, and one, it wasn't hot. It was because the ice cubes are pretty cool, and the fans were just different kind of fans. Like soccer fans are different, hockey fans are different. Like,
they're crazy.
Yeah, like, and I keep saying I want to get, we get the bang on the glass. That's kind of like a bucket list thing. Like I have a sports bucket list, and I have like regular bucket list. That's on the list as well.
See, I didn't know that. You don't have to tell me what's on the sports bucket list.
Oh yeah,
because you sat courtside.
I have.
So what else?
I want to sit ringside for a fight.
You gotta wait till we selling more T-shirts for that.
Yes and no. We've seen some things that weren't terrible. It just depends on the fight. Now, if Mayweather's retired.
Yeah, that's not.
If it's like a Showtime pay-per-view, Gervonta Davis, Earl Spence fight, yeah.
But those are, when you're talking about ringside, I don't want to go sit ringside at some nobody's fight. Like if I'm going to go sit ringside, I'm going to go sit ringside.
But that I think is, what's the right word? That's kind of jumping on the bandwagon, because a lot of times, like I've been following Gervonta Davis since he was, I think, right when he signed with Mayweather. A lot of the people that you see then, like today, that are big time pay-per-view, you could have seen them ringside had you been more aware of the sport. Just like now we have the Fredericksburg Nationals, and sometimes a lot of big leaguers come down to kind of recoup. Yeah. So you can get a chance to see them up close, up personal, for a much cheaper ticket price. So, and one, fighting's fighting. Like a knockout is a knockout.
This is true.
So watching someone get knocked out from this close, I think would be super exciting. Well, I've seen that, but that wasn't like sanctioned by a sports committee, which those days are dead and gone.
Yeah, long behind.
Long behind. But that would be really exciting. But so far, I would say basketball has been the best. I've had the most experiences. I've been in boxes. I've had really good seats. You took me to see the Warriors. That was dope. I flew out to Oakland for a Warriors game. That was really cool. I sat courtside, saw John Wall, Kemba Walker go back and forth for my birthday. So I've had the most experiences with basketball, and they were like different levels and tiers. Like sitting courtside, you actually get access to like down low, and you get to go in the back with all the
cool
rich cool people. Angela Simmons and some other people were there that night, so that was really fun. But sporting events are really dope. I wish we did that more. Right now, we've been more concert-ish people.
Yeah, but that's my thing. Like, I'd much rather pay for a concert than a sporting event.
No.
Yeah, but I like music. I love music.
You get music at the games.
It's not the same. It's not the same.
Have you swag surfed at a game?
Have you swag surfed at a concert?
Yes.
What concert did you do that at?
It was an intro. Actually, I did it for an Andy Mineo concert.
See, it's not the same. It's not the same. You gotta
because God was there?
No.
Is that what you mean?
No, because God is always welcome in the atmosphere. Like, don't put that on me. No, like, it's a different experience. Like, you know how much I love music. Yeah, so for me, it's like I'll pay a ridiculous amount of money for.
As will I.
Yes, Tangi, thank you. Concerts over sports games. Yes. because I feel like it's more memorable. Like I have memories from probably every concert I've ever been to. I have a list of the top 5 concerts I've ever been to. And I've got pictures and it's a different experience. Sports doesn't move me like that. Like, I'm sure
there'd be mad opening acts I don't care about at concerts.
Well, then you're going to the wrong shows. No, that's not true. No, and that's
so I'm there from 7 to midnight. I might get 2 hours of entertainment that I really want.
Who are you going to go see and you don't enjoy like the whole show?
There's a bunch of times where, like I said, the opening acts they're cool, but I ain't there for them. It would be like going to a basketball game. It's like in high school when you go see freshmen, JV, and then varsity. Nobody shows up really for the freshmen and JV games because those games suck. It's the same thing with concerts. Those first couple people, and we're about to go to one here soon, we're really going for the last 2 to 3 acts. There are some that we happen to like on this schedule, but I've been to a bunch of concerts where the opening acts were local artists, which I support local artists.
Right, don't go in.
But I didn't pay $100+ a ticket to see you. Or less than stellar production. So keep grinding, keep grinding. But
that is awful.
When I can see LeBron for 45 minutes.
I think it's just a different experience though. Like this, you don't get the same euphoria, that same vibe. It was just there. You can take it down.
I missed that. Sorry.
No, it was just there.
Yeah.
We see you, Derek. We see you.
Support my
Tangi,
fellas.
we can go to a concert whenever you'd like to, doll. I love them.
It's just Derek, I love you, but I think you got a long week ahead of you with Alabama coming to town. Side note. But Tampa looks great.
It's just a different experience when you talking concert, like music concerts, to a sporting event. Like there's a lot of atmosphere. There's obviously there's a lot of fanfare at basketball, football, whatever events you might be attending, but it's a whole different vibe when you're at a music concert. And that's more my vibe, especially since I like music more than I like sports. But I would obviously I would love to sit ringside at a boxing match. I would go to Super Bowl. What are you doing?
This is what you get when you go to a sports game. For those of you who can't hear.
Don't nobody want to hear that. We're literally in the middle of recording right now.
This gets you in the mood. Okay? This is what we're talking about. I won't play this too long because YouTube might mute us. YouTube is totally going to cut us out. You can play just a snippet, but it just feels a certain way.
You didn't stop it.
God didn't want it to stop, apparently. But it's similar to, and this is kind of a point for you, but the emotion that sports invokes to me tends to be, unless you're like Michael Jackson, where people just falling
pass it out,
which is nuts to me. But similar to what I was talking about with the Kanye last album, where it was more of a feeling. For me, sports is feeling because usually it's a lifelong passion. It's something you've been raised, usually from the crib, all the way through your life, and it's years and years and years of built up fandom. And now I get to just let it all out in the stadium. So I think that's what.
But see, and I guess that's for me why it's different, because you can go see a sports team regardless of who the actual lineup of the team is. If you really, really support that team, then you can go see them however many times in a season every year for as long as you can afford to go see tickets.
Mm-hmm.
Music experiences are not the same way. Concerts don't always come to a place that's really close to you. People pass away. like there's a myriad of reasons why you never get to see someone whose music career that you love and have supported for 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know people who love Michael Jackson to the ends of the earth, but never got to see him perform live. Like for me, when Chester Bennington died, he died a week before a concert that I was supposed to go and see him at. I'm really happy that I'd seen him previously before that, but I can only imagine how it would feel if I had never got to see him.
Yeah.
And that,
kind of like, I'm not going to ever get to see R. Kelly perform.
You're never going to see R. Kelly perform, and you'd be going by yourself. Like there's a bunch of reasons that prevent people from ever going to go see an artist that they really love live. Whereas to me, sports games are a dime a dozen. Football, you get 16 chances in it's 16 or 17.
There's only like half of those are home games.
Even still, you get what I'm saying.
Yeah, there are more opportunities for you to see the team that you support. I agree. However, that's not always the case, because what if you support a team like I do? Like, I like the Warriors. They only come out here once a year.
Well, you're willing to fly to go see them, so
that's what it took. But a lot of people can't do that. So and that was one thing about, I don't want to misquote. I think it was Kobe, and they were asking him, why did you play so many games instead of resting? And he said, because when I go to these cities, that's the one time that that little kid is going to get a chance to
possibly see me. Yeah.
Whereas, as we've seen with festivals, when it's festival season, there's a lot of the same people and a lot of the same lineups, and a lot of them hit general areas that you can get to.
But see, and even that's not necessary. I mean, that's the case right now, I think, just because of COVID or whatever. But like, I've gone to a lot of festivals, and the lineups, not, especially when you're looking at the lineups during festival season, they're not all the same. Like, you've got your people who are heavy hitters that obviously might do a couple of them, but in general, the lineup is super different.
And if they drop an album, they're probably going to do a tour.
Yes.
So there's
more than likely
a lot of opportunity.
But again, if you don't want to pay to see them, or if you can't afford to pay to see them, like, it's different.
Fair enough. So we've talked about the differences. I'm obviously pro sports. But we have another topic that, could be a little controversial. We ask that you allow God to judge me. Please don't rush to judgment for me. But if you so choose, please do leave it in the comments, because we love engagement. I love the art of debate, and I'm willing to have that conversation with you. So one of the big things that we've seen, and it is, I'm not going to say it's out of control, but it's getting pretty close out of control. We were on our way home yesterday. And from within about a 1.5 mile radius, let's say there was 6 billboards, 5 of them were sports gambling. DraftKings, FanDuel, BetMGM. We saw a Win USA that had Shaq. They're bringing out all the heavy hitters for gambling. And now Virginia is one of the few states in the country, I think there's like 10 of them now, that allow you to do this. So naturally, as someone who watches a bunch of sports and has played fantasy football for over a decade probably, I like to think that I'm pretty knowledgeable. Sports is also very unpredictable. The one thing I think people forget are athletes are humans. Mm-hmm. So if your wife tripping, that can affect your performance. If your kids suck.
Why did you immediately go to if your wife tripping?
There was a series of things.
I know, but the first thing you said is your wife is tripping.
Because most of these are men, and women be tripping.
Okay.
Or you could be out here doing stuff you ain't got no business doing, which causes your wife to trip. Either way, there's a lot that goes into being the best of the best. And so when you are the top 75 in the world at your job, like, that's a lot of stress. That's a lot of training. And you can have a bad game. You know who doesn't know that you're going to have a bad game? The person betting on you to have a great game. Enter fantasy football, which I have had my share of frustrations with certain players who don't perform when everybody tells me they're going to perform. Case in point, I joined a not DraftKings. It was Yahoo Fantasy. It was free entry. Didn't cost me a dime. Didn't take any food out of my kid's mouth or my wife. And I picked Aaron Rodgers and Devontae Adams. They have huge games because they're playing the Saints, who lost Drew Brees. God bless. We were praying for the people of New Orleans, but New Orleans is dealing with a lot. A lot of people have been displaced. Naturally, you would think the Saints had a lot of things on their mind, the least of which might have been playing a football game. Well, let me tell you something. Jameis Winston couldn't have been more focused on that game, and Aaron Rodgers couldn't have been less focused on that game, and they got absolutely destroyed. Needless to say, my fantasy entry into the pool did not profit me a single thing.
Yeah, the Green Bay needs to just go ahead and let that man go. Like, he clearly don't want to play for y'all no more.
All off season, and it showed its head.
Yeah.
He failed at being a Jeopardy host, and he failed at being a quarterback yesterday. But the same thing happens with gambling. You can read all the analytics, and there's a bunch of analytics and smart people today that can predict the future of what's supposed to happen and win probability and all this other crap that they have, all these numbers people. and it works for some people. But sometimes you just don't know. Ohio State caught an L this weekend. Other teams that were supposed to win caught L's. So the question that I have for you is, we saw a man who leading up to the Thursday night game against the Cowboys decided to place a $75,000 bet.
Mm-mm.
I think that's almost double the median income of a person in America. He put $75,000 on Ezekiel Elliott to score a touchdown. Not for the Cowboys to win. Not Tom Brady to throw a touchdown, which would have been pretty obvious that would happen. On Ezekiel Elliott to score a touchdown when he's played no preseason. Dak missed almost all of last season, so you have no idea what this offense is going to look like. And it got to a point where there was a play. Zeke got the ball one-on-one with a defender. Derek, if you're still watching, I'm sure you watched this happen. And the cornerback stopped Ezekiel Elliott, who's a 3-time All-Pro, led the league in rushing 3 times. But that's sports.
That's as close as he got to the end zone the entire game.
At halftime, he had 4 carries, and he didn't get close to the end zone again. $75,000 gone. Down
the drain.
So my question for you is, and we have enough dialogue about it, so you're well aware typically, or at this point, my kids are too. Don't think I'm an addict. I'm not. But there's a lot of times when I'm really invested in the game, and my daughter says, "Did you bet on this game?" And typically the answer is yes. But I've been fortunately successful. But do you believe that that is something that should be discussed?
Absolutely. Like, there is no way that I think someone should be gambling on sports. Or I don't think anyone should be gambling, period, and their spouse not know. But I think especially sports gambling, because there's like a gajillion games, and like, again, you watch a lot of sports.
I do.
So you bet on a lot of sports. And if you're betting on 5-10 games a week, like, even if you're only betting a few dollars on each game, you could potentially stand to lose a lot of money. And if you ever bet $75,000 on not even on a game, he bet $75,000 on a person to do what technically Ezekiel Elliott, he most definitely should have been able to score a single touchdown in the opening game of the season. But for whatever reasons, the football gods did not see so fit. And he flushed 75, 0. Like, that's more than what a lot of people make in a year. Like, that's a down payment for, like, you could buy a couple of cars. Like, there are so many other things that you could do with $75,000. And then if you lost $75,000, like, I don't know what we would do, but we would need counseling, because I don't know what I would do, but I definitely would be thinking about leaving you, because Jesus help us. Like that. And then it's just like, why hide it? Like, there are so many things that can go wrong with betting and gambling and all of that. And then if you're doing that behind your spouse's back, it's like, are you feeling guilty about it? Are you ashamed that you're doing it? Are you losing so much money?
We don't want you to jinx it.
Are you losing so much money that I should be concerned on whether, like, we can afford our lives anymore? And there's a lot of conversation that just goes with that. And I'm sorry, like, your betting is under control. But unfortunately, it's literally like you watch TV and there's 30 commercials on about gambling. Like, I feel bad for people who really do have those addictions, because right now it is just crazy advertisement for it. And
incentivized to.
Right. Like, they give you $1,000 free dollars. And it's like, oh, you use all that money. It was now, I got to get it back. Like, no. Like, it needs to be a consensual thing between the partners, because there's no way that you're just going to gamble away our future. And I have no idea it's happening.
So no, I understand where you're coming from. I would say, and I do think a conversation should be had, but gambling is for people that are stockbrokers and make money on the stock market. There's risk involved. Gambling's the same way. Most people don't just wake up one day and say, you know what, throw some money on such and such. It's not March Madness where people pick based on the mascot. Like there's a science, there's data, there's analytics, there's numbers behind to justify why the bet should win. The same way people do the same thing with stocks or businesses, or, just saying, I'm quitting my job and I'm going to take a risk to go start a business.
I don't think that's the same.
The point is it's risk involved. And there's been a bunch of people that have said, people have gone for every success story of people that quit their job to pursue their own passion. There's a bunch of broke people out here that are homeless that are begging at the corners, asking for money. So that happens. Like there is risk involved. I do think there's a certain level once you get to a certain point that you should have a conversation with your spouse. However, if my gambling has afforded you the lifestyle to go buy all your bags and go shopping and us take trips, don't kill me when we take some hits and some setbacks.
No.
What do you mean no?
No.
So as long as we're winning and you get to take vacations and shop till you drop, that's fine.
There is a difference.
What's the difference?
If you're winning, it's just different. Dang it. Like there is a difference between the betting and gambling that you do versus the betting and gambling that you're talking about. For you to make that kind of money gambling, like you'd have to be dedicating a lot more of our resources to that sort of.
It takes money to make money.
But that's not but do you know how much more money you could lose?
Yeah,
from doing
I do, which is why I don't do it. To that extent.
So what I'm saying is there are people who are professional gamblers, like they have a lot invested in it, but that's not all they do. Like they have other means of income and like they supplement. It's
usually been funded by their gambling.
The gambling. Look, we ain't those people though.
I agree. I'm not doing it. I've never seen $75,000 in person, like in my hand. So I definitely wouldn't then take it and give it away. And
because that's exactly what you're doing. And I think that's why that's my biggest issue with gambling. Like if you win, sure, great. I just won this money. I didn't really do anything special to get it. But when you lose money gambling, I don't care if it's $5, $10, $100, you have nothing to show for it. Like at least when I go shopping and I get home and I have a little bit of buyer's remorse, I can open up the bag and see all the pretty new things I bought. When you go gambling and you lose large sums of money, like all you have is this empty feeling of failure or
a burning passion
to
go get what was stolen from you.
No, because it wasn't stolen. You gave it away. It wasn't stolen.
Well, it was stolen by and I've been in this situation. Money has been stolen from me. Ben Simmons stole money from me. I needed you, an all-pro, multi-time all-star, to get 10 points. 10 points. And for those of you who don't know, a game like parlay is where you can bet on a bunch of different things at one time, and it increases the odds. So it might be for every dollar you spend, you get 5. But if you do a bunch of those together, for every dollar you spend, you might get 100. So quick tutorial. So I was boom, 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 boom. I'm loving life. All I need is Ben Simmons to get me 10 points. This lovely individual, who I hope gets traded to the middle of nowhere, ended the game with 7 points. So not as heartbreaking as had he ended with 9, but here's the problem with that 7. Down the stretch of said game, there were opportunities for layups. He passed up, and he's done that in the playoffs, which is why Joel Embiid wants him out. And he missed mad free throws. Free throws, for those of you who don't know what those are, it's this thing in basketball where you walk to a line and you're about 20 feet away from the basket. And you know what? No one is stopping you from trying to shoot. You stand there and it's just you and the basket. And you're a professional athlete. You know, one of 15 people to make the All-Star game, one of the 15 best players in the world. And all I needed was my man's to go ahead and knock down a couple free throws. He failed. Another instance, heartbreaker. Game is gone. The game is over. The team is destined to win. There's this thing called a point spread. It means one team has to win by a certain amount of points. And at this time, I am up by 1. All they got to do is dribble out the clock like a good sports person would. But some mom raised this kid to be a jerk. And so you know what he did? He decided, I'm going to drive the basket in time where no one cares. He goes, shoots a layup. He misses. Great. He misses. But you know what else? Some other mom raised a son that also was a heartless individual. He grabs the rebound. He lays it back up. With 0.3 seconds left, game ends. All the money's gone. So there are those instances where I feel that is a robbery because I did everything I could to do the right thing, and some person let me down.
No, you gave away your money because you have no impact or control over what these professional athletes are doing on their job. And because you willingly bet the money, hoping that they would have a certain outcome, believing, whatever you want to call it. Either way, you were giving away your money with the hopes that it would return to you.
That I sold it into his life and believing in him, that the energy would go out like a spirit bomb and it would empower him to do great things. But sometimes it doesn't happen.
A lot of times it doesn't happen. So
that's why they keep building new casinos and Vegas gets more and more lights.
Exactly.
I've only been there a couple times, but from what I see from the pictures,
it continues to build because people continue to go to give away their money.
That they do.
So let's see. We're going to get ready to wrap this up. So we've talked about sporting events that we've been to, but is there a sporting event like that's at the top of your list that you would really like to go and experience in person with the whatever you call it, with the fanfare and all the lights and actions and all of that?
I do. And for those of you still watching, we'd like to hear some of your thoughts as well. For those of you who have been to sporting events or would like, definitely put those in the comments and we can put those up. For me, in this country, it would have to be the Super Bowl. I would love to go to a finals game. I've been to All-Star Weekend, and that was really, really dope. I was a really small kid. I wish social media existed then, but it didn't. I know, shocking for some of our people who could be watching that there was a time there was no Instagram or Facebook, but there was a time phones didn't have cameras on them, or the camera quality was absolute trash. Like those photos that you took are dead and gone, rightfully so. So for me, it would be the Super Bowl. I just think between the halftime show, between the event, the fanfare, the only time I would go would be for my team to be there. You know?
That's not happening, but you can keep holding your breath.
It's happened 3 times, so you never know.
And
history repeats itself. That's what they say.
When was the last time the Washington football team won the Super Bowl?
Doesn't matter.
Because you can't even remember it was so long ago. It
doesn't matter. The point is it could happen, and if it does, I would be there to support.
100% it could.
So that would be for me. I think the Super Bowl would be really dope. I think that's the hardest championship to win. And so to see my team win that, I would couldn't miss that opportunity.
Okay, that's cool. Like I said, you got a better chance of just going to the Super Bowl as opposed to waiting for the whatever they're going to be at some point. Be there. You should probably just do that instead of waiting on them.
I'm just going to keep a humble approach here and it
away. So for me, it would definitely have to be All-Star Weekend, NBA All-Star Weekend. Super Bowl would be cool, but if it's not like obviously I would love for the Colts to take it back again and win the Super Bowl, but the likelihood of me going isn't great. Whereas NBA All-Star Weekend, like I can go and I can get really good seats. I can see all the players that are really popular at the time, probably see all the players that I really like because typically they're pretty popular. Mad celebrities be at the All-Star Weekend. So, and then there's performances and there's like activities. It's a lot packed into one weekend, culminating in an awesome. Well, they don't do East versus West anymore. No,
they draft the team.
Yeah,
whoever the top.
Which I actually would prefer because East Coast all day, every day for me. You're from the East Coast.
I didn't say anything.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say like, bruh, this no. So yeah, the NBA All-Star game would be what I would go see.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you enjoyed this. We wanted to switch it up a little bit. We will be posting a video sometime this week, giving you a little bit of insight as to how we found ourselves here tonight. But yeah, sports obviously it's huge business. It's really big in a lot of relationships and families. Traditions are passed down. I definitely plan to raise our children to be fans of the teams that I'm a fan of. They will train up a child in the way that they should go. And when they grow old, they won't depart from it. So
they will conform.
They will do what their parents say. And it would be great if the parents were aligned. But as you can see, that doesn't appear to be the case yet. But I will keep praying for her. Yeah, did you have anything else you wanted to say before we?
No, we're good. I think we can close out.
All right.
This video will be available on YouTube. I think shortly after we finish the live. And then if you're on Facebook, I think it'll stay on Facebook too. So either way, you can catch this, comment, share with your friends, let us know how dope we are, all of that great stuff.
Yeah. So, in life, things happen. You have the power to choose what you do. Choose wisely and always bet on you. And finally, we're doing a lot of things here. I needed that still, so I'm not sure why you took it away. Thank you for being such a gracious host with me. But if you have been blessed by us, go on ahead and bless us. Our Cash App will be in the link below for the video. We definitely continue to grow and do things. There's some really, really exciting things we're doing, partnering with some different people. Shout out to Tiff, who came to see us from the Fat Girl Chronicles.
Hey.
That was a really good time. And our kids are losing their mind apparently at the moment upstairs. So we're going to go enjoy Monday Night Football. I will be rooting for the Ravens.
Me too, actually.
We support the local area, even though Ravens fans don't really support Washington fans, but that's okay. We don't take it personally. When you go low, we go high. So go Ravens, and y'all have a great night.